Ladies and gentlemen, business moguls and tech enthusiasts, welcome to the first episode of Business Tech Talk, brought to you by FRCS Tech. I'm your host, Brad Nelson, and today we're diving deep into the digital foundations that keep the gears of small and medium-sized businesses turning. Yes, you guessed it, we're talking about the nitty-gritty of IT infrastructure. Now I know what you're thinking. IT infrastructure. Really? Is that where the party's at? Well, buckle up, because we're about to turn this into the tech fiesta you never knew you needed. So grab your favorite caffeinated beverage, settle into your ergonomic chair, and let's embark on a journey through the bits and bytes of IT infrastructure for small and medium-sized businesses. Don't worry, we promise to keep the tech jargon to a minimum. We're not here to confuse you. We're here to enlighten and maybe crack a tech-related joke or two. All right, let's hit the power button on this episode. Welcome to Understanding the Basics of IT Infrastructure for Small and Medium-Sized Businesses. So what exactly is IT infrastructure and why is it so important? IT infrastructure is like the backstage crew of a Broadway show. You don't always see them, but without them, the whole production falls apart. It is working tirelessly in the background to not only make your staff's lives easier, but it also allows you to offer a better product or service to your customers. Now let's start with the basics. What is part of IT infrastructure? Well, it's the hardware, the software, the networks, the whole shebang. It's the reason you can send email, binge watch cat videos, or host that riveting virtual meeting where everybody pretends to be on mute. But in all seriousness, IT can be a big puzzle for a lot of businesses. And if you don't have all the correct pieces in the right place, your business will suffer. The first major piece of that giant tech puzzle is hardware. This is everything physical. Your laptop and desktop computers, your servers, your network devices like routers, switches, and wireless access points, your copier machines, all the way down to your USB flash drives. If it's tech and you can physically throw it out the window when you're frustrated, it's hardware. Choosing the right hardware for your business greatly affects the reliability of your IT infrastructure. Let's start with desktop and laptop computers. Everybody's familiar with these. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as buying a specific brand or staying away from another specific brand, or buying a computer with at least an octa-core processor, 128 gigabytes of RAM, and a petabyte NVMe drive. The first thing is to figure out exactly how the end user will be using their computer. For an office worker who is constantly creating documents, spreadsheets, checking emails, attending and running meetings, and sharing those spicy memes that HR isn't too pleased with, they will need something that is reliable and easy to use, but not super over the top as far as computational power goes. On the flip side, an engineer or an architect who's running CAD software will need more horsepower under the hood. Evaluating each job role's needs, or even each employee's needs, will help you save money not only when purchasing the actual computer, but also save money through lost time in the future from employees wasting hours fighting their computers. Okay, so let's say you've evaluated all of the job roles in your business, and you've even polled your employees to ask their preferences as far as computers go. Which ones should you buy? Well, again, it's not as simple as buying one brand over another, or paying at least X amount for a new computer to make sure it's good. Most companies that manufacture computers make consumer-grade computers and enterprise-grade computers. The consumer-grade computers are made for home use. They are designed for watching YouTube and liking that photo of your friend's dog on Instagram. Also, they generally aren't built with longevity in mind, and this is a key point. For price, they start as low as $180 and can go up to be as much as a couple thousand. Which sounds like a good deal, but stay away from consumer-grade computers for your business. They will not last, and they will break down on you when you're trying to give that important presentation to a potential investor. What you want to look for is enterprise-grade computers. They are generally more expensive, starting around $800 on up, but they are well worth the extra investment. These are purpose-built business computers that are designed for the workloads you will be throwing at them. They usually come with killer warranties and great customer support that you won't get with a consumer-grade computer. The main players in the enterprise computer space are Dell with their Latitude laptops and Optiplex desktops, HP with their EliteBook laptops, Elite Pro and Z-Series desktops, and Lenovo with their ThinkPad laptops and ThinkCenter and ThinkStation desktops. There are more companies, of course, out there making similar products, but these are the top 3 in the industry. Next up is your network hardware. Again, you want to stay away from consumer-grade Wi-Fi routers. You probably have one of these devices at home, and it probably works great. But you aren't binge-watching the newest Netflix series in the office. At least, I hope not. You're getting real work done. These little guys are actually a few devices smashed together for convenience sake. They're a router, a network switch, and a wireless access point. They do a mediocre job at all 3 of those things, but not a great job. Getting a separate enterprise-grade router, switch, and separate wireless access points is a more reliable, more configurable, and more scalable solution. Need more Wi-Fi coverage in your office? Just add another wireless access point. Want to separate parts of your network for security or organizational purposes? Create some virtual networks. These systems are significantly more expensive than buying a $50 Netgear router from Walmart, but the investment is well worth saving the man-hours and headache of an overloaded network and a workforce that can't get any work done. 2 of the major companies in this space with great products and service are Cisco and Ubiquiti. When pricing out the physical network of your business, it is important to consider how many devices you will be connecting and how network intensive your workloads will be. Like I mentioned, these solutions are usually very scalable, and expanding them as your business grows is very easy. But you shouldn't skimp out here, as your network is the backbone of your IT infrastructure. Finally, we come to servers. This is the main data hub of your IT infrastructure. You'll use your server or multiple servers to share documents, send and receive emails, host your website, store backups of all your machines, and much, much more. There are 3 main ideas around server setups: fully on-premises, fully in the cloud, and a hybrid on-premises in the cloud solution. What is right for you really depends on your needs and your priorities. The benefits of a fully on-premises setup is that you have full control over your hardware and your data. You also get to have a really cool server room with a server rack and lots of blinking lights that you can show off to your friends. However, it can be very expensive to purchase and maintain all your own server hardware. You also have to build your servers to handle the largest peak workload you expect to experience over the server's lifetime. For some businesses, this can mean for a few weeks out of the year, their servers are working at 80 to 95% of their total capacity, and the rest of the year, they are working less than 10% of their total capacity. Cloud computing service providers like AWS solve this issue by offering on-demand options. You only pay for the capacity you use at any given time. Another great benefit of cloud services are that the service provider maintains and secures all of the physical server hardware for you. One important thing to understand is that the cloud is just someone else's computer. You have to trust that the service provider is able to keep your information available and secure. Some businesses opt for a hybrid approach. They may host their website, email, and phones in the cloud with a service like Microsoft 365, but have a physical file server on site to store their backups and host their documents. You might have noticed I haven't mentioned Macs in any of this yet. Even though Apple makes a good computer, they just aren't tailored for business. There are some businesses where it would be advantageous to purchase Macs instead of PCs. For example, a music production studio might use recording software that is best ran on a Mac. But these businesses are the exception, not the rule. And this takes us into our next big thing to think about, and that is software. Software is all the applications that run on your hardware. I mean, it's a bit of a misnomer since software isn't actually soft. I mean, maybe it is, but you can't touch it, so how can you tell? Anyway, software choices are going to vary greatly depending on the needs and preferences of the business, but there are specific categories of software that every business needs. First and foremost, collaboration tools and communication platforms are a must. These include some sort of office suite, as well as email, instant messaging, and video conferencing applications. Whether you choose Microsoft Office or Google Docs, Slack or Teams, Zoom or Skype, will all depend on your needs and preferences. Next would be some sort of customer relationship management software. Gone are the days of Rolodexes, and the best way to keep track of your customers and your sales process is with software. There are so many CRMs out there that it is impossible to list them all. A large one that many companies use is Salesforce. It is highly customizable and can handle large amounts of data. However, there are plenty of CRMs out there that are purpose-built for specific industries and might be easier to set up right out of the box for you. In order to maintain your IT infrastructure, you will also need to invest in data backup software, antivirus, and some sort of device management and monitoring software. You can purchase this software yourself, or most of the time when you partner with an IT managed service provider like FRCS Tech, we will cover the cost of that software. We're able to do this since we get volume discounts on that software because of the thousands of computers we manage for multiple businesses at a time. After you have all these things covered, you will potentially have specialized software for your industry that you will need to purchase. A retail store might need inventory management software. A video production studio will need video editing and special effects software. This is something that you'll need to do some deep research on for your own business. Thankfully, just like those little samples they hand out at Costco, most of the time you can get a free trial for software. It can be worth your time to sign up for multiple free trials and play with different softwares to figure out which one will fit your needs the best. Now, another very important thing that you need to take into consideration when choosing your hardware and software is security. The terms cybersecurity and InfoSec get thrown around a lot nowadays, and there's good reason for that. With businesses of all sizes experiencing data breaches and cyber attacks, investing in preventative security measures is extremely important to not only protect your business, but to protect your customers. You put locks on your doors to prevent unwanted entry into your building, right? So why wouldn't you do the same for your technology? When planning out your IT infrastructure, security should be at the forefront of your mind. Just having passwords on things is not good enough. The data on your computers and servers, as well as all your network traffic, should be encrypted. Multi-factor authentication should be used whenever accessing important information, and you should be performing regular security audits and vulnerability assessments. Finding security holes and patching them quickly is the name of the game. Now, this goes beyond having the right hardware and software solutions in place. Your employees must be well trained to notice suspicious behavior and tested regularly with phishing simulations and social engineering audits to keep them alert. Security is everyone's responsibility. The most hardened systems can be broken into by exploiting an ignorant or sympathetic employee. It's not their fault. They're only human. but your whole team, from the office intern all the way up to the CEO, needs to own the security of your business. The best way to make sure this happens is to have solid security and access management policies in place, as well as thought out procedures for when the fecal matter hits the air circulation machine. Your employees need to not only know what a suspicious email looks like, but what to do with it and who to notify about it. Having a solid email and spam policy is a great start. Also, should employees be allowed to bring their own devices to work? If so, should they be allowed to connect them to the company's internal network? A bring your own device policy would cover this. How long and complex should your passwords be? Password management policy. What happens if you're hit with ransomware that infects your main server? An instant response policy and an emergency backup and recovery SOP will give your employees a plan of action to get you back up and running in a timely manner instead of just freaking out and running around like a chicken with its head cut off. But also, remember that policies and procedures only work if you continually train your employees on them and if they are strictly enforced. Sitting down and writing up a plan for your IT infrastructure is the best way to have all your bases covered. And not just how your IT infrastructure is now, although that is important, but also how you plan to scale it as your business grows. Having the right hardware in place and using the right software, as well as building a future-proofed network, is key. Keeping security at the top of your priority list when planning for the future will keep you and your customers safe, and having solid policies, procedures, and a plan for the future will provide a solid foundation that makes your technology work for you instead of against you. It's important that you do your own research and find the best solutions for your business, but hopefully we are able to provide you with some good ideas of where to start. Here at FRCS Tech, we help small and medium-sized businesses manage their technology. If you want some help making a plan for your IT infrastructure, there is a link in the description to book a free one-on-one consultation with me. We can hash out a quick and dirty plan for your business, or we can dive deep on a specific area that you need help with. And again, it is completely free. Thank you so much for tuning in today to our weekly show. If there was something we missed, or you just want to say hi, join the discussion below in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time.